Who do you want to be like? When you desire to improve yourself and you look at the things great men and women have accomplished, it's easy to fall into the trap of hero worship. You start keeping pictures of them on your wall, you start regurgitating quotes from them, and you talk about them a lot. This is fine for children, but if you're an adult and you take this too far, you can start feeling bad about yourself. If you have a path you're taking in life, look for pointers in the lives of people who are further along that path than you are. But don't live vicariously through them. Continue on your grind. They didn't have your experiences and struggles in life. You want to be a first-rate version of yourself and not a second-rate version of somebody else. What you can do, however, is find a desirable trait in someone, preferably a historical figure, and work on developing that for yourself without copying the person wholesale. I'll give you some examples. Miyamoto Musashi was a swordsman slash painter slash philosopher slash sculptor who lived in feudal Japan. I respect the way he eschewed convention and embraced difference and solitude and turned it into a strength through self-discipline and purpose. His fighting style was entirely his own and he arguably fought in 61 duels and lost only one. He also had his own style in painting, sculpting, and way of life, and persisted despite having many detractors. He also wrote a book called The Book of Five Rings, which describes strategy which is relevant over 300 years after it was written. If you struggle with caring too much about what people think, do some research on him and take a page out of his book. Marcus Aurelius was an early Roman emperor and philosopher. I respect the way he embraced the Stoic philosophy and was able to remain calm through a lot of chaos. The way he dealt with urban hustle and bustle, the way he dealt with noise, the way he handled the many wars that were fought during his rule, were all worthy enough for him to go down in history as arguably the best Roman emperor. Despite all that he went through, whatever he was doing, he was always present in the moment, whether it was planning the next battle or spending time with his family. If you struggle with being in the moment and remaining calm in chaotic situations, do some research on him and practice some elements of Stoicism. King David, a prominent figure in the Bible, was a shepherd in his youth, and he gained the respect of all of Israel when he faced and killed Goliath, a giant Philistine warrior with a feared reputation, and he killed him with a sling and no armor. He was accepted to train under Emperor Saul and became a respected warrior. Saul became jealous of David's rising star and attempted to kill him. David fled and hid out in a cave for a long time. Many were discontented with Saul's rule at the time and joined David. When Saul and his son Jonathan were killed in battle, David was anointed king of Israel. As a king, David preferred to fight along with his men in the trenches instead of just staying on the throne giving orders. This can be compared to a modern-day boss who, when he asks you to work long hours, works them with you, and you can't help but respect them for that. Joseph, another prominent figure in the Bible, was thrown into a pit by his half-brothers, who deceived their father into thinking he died. Afterwards, they sold him into slavery. He was bought by Potiphar, the captain of the Egyptian Pharaoh's guards. Potiphar was impressed by Joseph's intelligence and made him the chief slave of his household. His wife took a liking to Joseph, but Joseph refused her. Embarrassed, she told Potiphar that Joseph tried to rape her, and Potiphar had him imprisoned. He was originally going to execute him, but his wife admitted she lied. He was such a model prisoner that the warden put him in charge of the other prisoners. Joseph got out and was eventually made a high-ranking advisor to the Pharaoh and became very successful. Because of famine, Joseph's half-brothers had to come to Egypt for food. Joseph was in a position to take revenge for what they did to him. He could have crushed them under his boots if he wanted, but he chose to forgive them and help them, on the condition that they went back and brought Joseph's full brother, Benjamin. If you're in a position where you're being blamed for things you didn't do, take inspiration from Joseph's story. So who do you want to be like? The correct answer is you. Everyone has their own good traits and bad traits, and that's what makes us us. Pick what strengths you have that you want to build on, and pick what weaknesses you have that you want to chip away at and become the best version of yourself. Find what suits you. Dress according to your complexion and body type, and style your hair and beard according to your head shape. Don't just copy someone else's style. So who do you want to be like? I can't hear you. Say it with more conviction. That's more like it. If you found this video helpful, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.